Hello? Is this thing on? I think my Yeti still works with Adobe Edition, but I could be proven wrong. I see the little thing bouncing up and down. But, what's up, guys? My name is Swordsman75, and you are watching a video on my YouTube channel. Many of you have probably moved on and will have no idea this video was ever posted or what was talked about in it, so that's cool. Though I think it's completely fair to see my channel has degraded over the last year and a half from my inactivity and sparse, to say the least, upload habits. But I decided to force myself to make a commentary tonight. At the time of this recording, it is currently September 4th at 3:28 a.m. East Coast time. And yeah, this is a commentary. I haven't done one in a while. I've posted some videos over the last year and a half, but primarily many of those were very... I guess the bulk of them were just live commentaries. They were footage with me playing with some friends of some random game. I've actually gone way out of my way to avoid making general commentaries for... I'd say roughly 18 months, around there. It's been about 18 months as I tried to avoid doing my usual commentaries. Every now and then I would have a video where it wasn't a live commentary. I would actually record audio, but it was typically for a very specific purpose. I vaguely remember making a Guild Wars 2 commentary video where I discussed my thoughts on the game itself. I think that was during its beta. I remember another video where I discussed a Guardian build that I was running and really having fun with in the beta. I remember my commentary where I talked about Tomb Raider and my written review of that I posted to my blog. I love that game, by the way. It's still one of my favorite games I've played this year. I hope you guys enjoyed Tomb Raider as much as I did, though admittedly it didn't get as much success as I thought it might, but I really enjoyed the game and look forward to any sequels that they might decide to throw out with it. But yeah, I have avoided making commentaries. What used to come so naturally, so easy to me after so long of doing them, I went out of my way to try not to do them. And I thought a lot about whys and the hows and the what sort of kept me away from doing them, what sort of put my channel on a hiatus. And frankly, for the longest time I was afraid of what I might actually say into a commentary. I had a lot of shit bouncing around in my head that wasn't very fun to think about, wasn't very good to expose, wasn't really the type of thing that you really want to put onto YouTube. The type of things that when you go through certain things and you think about them in the back of your mind, you just don't want your inner thoughts coming out into a public format where potentially thousands of people could view it and any sort of repercussions and fallouts from those things. And, I just didn't want to do that whenever I know I have a history of speaking my mind, being relatively direct, blunt, and to the point. And so I sort of just steered away from it. For those that may be completely unaware, that time period sort of started when Athena and I went our separate ways. I just sort of backed away right then and there. I felt awkward going through such a personal thing, as well as having had our relationship be a semi-public type thing for people to watch and see it develop, with our interactions together on our individual YouTube channels, throughout our podcast, whenever we were on Twitter together talking and whatnot. It felt all very, very awkward at the time. And it just sort of pulled back completely in almost all things YouTube related, and in general just gaming publicly, so to speak, as my quote-unquote public persona, so to speak. So I pulled back from there. I didn't want to talk about it at the time, and I'm not going to really talk about it now either, but at the time, I remember very specifically that, well, we broke up. A lot of our fan bases knew, obviously, that we were in a relationship and whatnot, and they would probably want to be told, and or they'll figure it out themselves. And at the time for me, it was like talking about it made it seem way more real than what it was. And at the time, I didn't want it to feel that real. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't want to actually sit down and talk about it really. So that started the 18-month withdrawal from YouTube, coupled with some other things that were tied in along the side. For any of you that may vaguely remember a commentary I did where I talked about cancer, that my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer. For anyone maybe curious about that, she did survive. She's as healthy as ever she can be for an 84-year-old awesome woman. She's kicking some ass, has been in the clear for over a year now, so that's very awesome. I do so love my grandmother. Probably my favorite person in my entire family, the person I am the closest to, and yeah, so that's good. I do remember talking about that in one of the last commentaries I did. That was more. Whoops. Oh wow. You start doing a commentary, and all of a sudden you remember the things you forgot to do when it used to be so obvious to mute things and disable sound alerts for your phone. Whoops, my bad, guys. But let's get down to business here. I don't know how long I'm going to ramble for. I got a lot on my mind. I don't really know how much I want to put into one video. You know, I mean, I could probably sit here and talk for probably a couple hours if I really wanted to, with all the shit that's on my mind, all the opinions I've pent up and corralled for a while now, things I've wanted to share. But as of, I guess, the last couple of months, I've started toying with the idea of wanting to somehow, in some format, get back to gaming in the public eye, so to speak. I'm not completely sure what that entails. Whenever I think about going back to gaming and making videos and entertaining people again, my mind immediately goes to what I miss about it. And what I miss is the interaction with people. I thrived very much on the interaction between my subscribers, my fans, my followers, and I really liked the discussions, the debates, the controversies, the foot-in-the-mouth situations I get into from time to time. I really enjoyed the discourse between everyone, and that's really what I had a lot of fun doing, so I miss that direct interaction with people. I'm still fairly active on Twitter, but most people don't follow me there, and that's fine, that's cool. But I miss the interaction. I miss providing some sort of entertainment, and I used to at least try to toss in little nuggets of information, little bits of pieces of useful facts or whatnot with my weapon reviews and stuff like that. I like being helpful. I like teaching people things, even though I may not be the best player. I do tend to at least try to gain a lot of knowledge about whatever it is that I am playing. So I kind of miss those things. But whenever I think about going back to it, my mind seems to go towards live streaming. Over the last 18 months, I've been watching a lot of live streams. I almost never browse YouTube anymore. I never go check the front page of YouTube to see who I've subscribed to see any new videos. Like I don't go and see like what's in my sub box, what video from Spoon he put up, or what video from Boo Man he put up. I just don't check YouTube for that shit anymore. I just don't. Maybe you guys don't either. Maybe that will be a large part of why this isn't seen. I don't know. Typically in my world, if it doesn't come across Twitter from somebody I follow, if it doesn't have a tweet involved or attached to it that I've seen, I typically don't see it. If it's on a live stream, if I follow a channel, if I don't get an email about it or see a tweet about them going live, I don't see it. So that's at least how my gaming entertainment media consumption has shifted over the time I've been away from my YouTube channel. There's been some discussion in D-Crew about whether or not that's a common trend, or whether or not that's just in our own personal sphere of influence. Because a lot of us watch streams now. We browse Twitch streams like we used to browse like sub boxes and like looking for YouTube videos back in the day, so to speak. So I don't know. Do you guys mostly watch streams now? Have you guys given up primarily on the YouTube commentator, so to speak? You know, I don't know. I haven't followed the YouTube drama. I don't know who's popular now. I don't know who fell out of favor, or who broke up with who, or who's no longer on terms with this channel. I just don't know. I frankly didn't care. I don't really know what's going on. As far as I know, I'm still a Machinima Respawn partner. I think I did get kicked out of the director program for not uploading anything for a long time, but I think my channel's still partnered. They still send me a little bit of money every month, so I think that's still going. But, wow. We are 10 minutes in, and I haven't even really touched on games yet. I don't know. I could stop here and just have it be awkward, or I can just keep on going. I think I'm going to keep on going. Just going to keep talking into my microphone and hope that something comes out that is useful on the other side of all this. I don't know for sure. Maybe you guys will help me figure it out, what's been useful, what's been productive from this. But I don't know. I'm enjoying myself right now. It feels pretty good, not going to lie. Shit, what am I going to use for footage? Footage. I think I have a string of Bad Company 2 from a live, well, not live stream, but live commentary session, so to speak, where I was playing with the D crew a couple months ago. I think I have some Black Ops 2 footage hidden away that I never even bothered to commentate or post, even though I enjoyed that game a fair bit. So if this gets going too long and I run out of Bad Company 2 footage, please don't have a fucking conniption, because you might see some COD gameplay pop up at the end of it. Just bear with me here. I don't know how much footage I actually have. I haven't gone out of my way to record anything for this commentary. Didn't really put a ton of thought into it, just figured I kind of want to make a commentary, and I've been thinking about making a commentary for a long time, so let's do it. On the gaming front, this year I have enjoyed a few games a good bit. Just generally speaking, I really like Tomb Raider, as I mentioned. I like Bioshock Infinite. SimCity was a colossal letdown. Oh my god, that stung. Heart of the Swarm was amazing to me. I loved the campaign. I enjoyed some of the multiplayer. I did get to Silver League in StarCraft 2 Ladder, 1 versus 1. I didn't play a ton of it. I had no one really around me to share it with, to talk about it with, to get excited with. So I sort of stopped playing that sooner than I would have liked to. I do still follow the competitive scene, the pro guys with the WCS tournaments and whatnot, as best I can. I don't watch everything as much as I used to. I've primarily shifted to following League of Legends as an esports spectator sport. Really into that. I like watching that esports. I still play it from time to time. I'm not as super active as I used to be. I don't play it like all night every night for like that's the core game anymore. I do try to get a few matches a week. Every now and then we'll binge for a little bit for like maybe 3 or 4 days and like cool off for a week or so, and then go back later. Other games, I really enjoyed Payday 2 for about a week before it got kind of boring, because I basically did everything there was to do. There's a couple missions I don't think I did on Overkill, but other than that, it just didn't really seem all that worthwhile to keep throwing hours into. It just got like, well, I can do everything now, I guess that's great. But it was a very neat game, considering the limited studio it came from and whatnot. I thought it was definitely worth the $30 price tag. It was a very enjoyable co-op experience with some of my best friends, so that's good. Also, what else? We got, it was a pretty big dry spell for me over the summer. I played a lot of Guild Wars, World vs. World in particular, with Jake Kaiser and Mr. 8-Bit Ronin. We had a lot of fun playing that as of late. We're still on Maguma server, if anyone remembers that. Fairly small guild, but Jay got into a much bigger one. He left us behind. We're all sad now, but we do still play together, even though he's in a bigger guild. He's in a guild that takes the World vs. World more seriously and whatnot than our tiny one did. And they can field a pretty sizable army, which is pretty cool to hang out with and follow him around. I try not to noob it up. Rome 2 just released the other night. It is a very good game. It has some bugs, it has some issues right now, but that's basically a total war game in a nutshell. It's crashed a couple times for me, but other than that, it's beautiful. It runs well. Very fun. I'm trying to get back into it again. Once upon a time, I played a lot of Rome Total War. So many hours into that, having a lot of fun with friends. Right now, I haven't really done much with the co-op or the multiplayer battles yet. Just been trying to figure out the new intricacies of the campaign map and UI in particular, trying to struggle against that and work on managing food with population and gold income and whatnot. It's been fun trying to figure out the races and seeing which ones I like. Macedonia used to be my go-to favorite in Rome 1, so we'll see if I stick with that. I did try some Pontus tonight, and that was a good bit of fun. I could also see myself enjoying like a Germanic tribe, maybe Gaul or something. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess maybe the Celts, something from Britannia. I don't know. You know, it's a big game. Maybe Carthage. Fuck, I'll try them all at some point. You know, get a campaign going for maybe 20, 30, 40 turns with each faction, just to see how they play, see how they shape up, how I like them. The next game I am looking forward to would of course be Grand Theft Auto 5. Anyone that has known me over the years know how much I've enjoyed GTA in the past, Grand Theft Auto 4 especially. It is my favorite one. I like San Andreas and Vice City, but GTA 4 just captured a very special spot in my heart where it felt like the awesomeness of GTA caught up with the awesome graphics of the modern-ish times. And I love GTA 4. A lot of good memories playing that. And now the 5th one is coming out. As best I can tell, it looks amazing. It seems to have upgraded mechanics wherever there was any sort of issues in GTA 4. It looks like they've improved them. They've borrowed from Red Dead Redemption, which obviously have been a really good game to me, as well as some other games that I forget the other game that they borrowed from. It's a game I didn't play, but I heard it was really popular. That will be releasing. I had hoped to pick it up on PC. I've been primarily doing PC gaming the last 18 months. It's just better for me. It just keeps everything at one thing, one system. It's just... I used to try to pick and choose and go back and forth, but just the conformity of having it all in one just feels better to me, I guess. Though I will say, I still like my shooters on Xbox. Just something about the Xbox shooters, I guess. I never was super accurate with the mouse, though I've been making some strides. I found some mouse acceleration issues that Theo and I have been tinkering with the last couple of days. It seems to have gotten rid of the mouse acceleration in Battlefield 3. Turns out if you go into your documents, Battlefield 3, and a couple other deeper things into there, you'll find this ini file that has hard-coded mouse acceleration for Battlefield 3 on PC. And setting that to 0 actually seems to have given me a noticeable help to being more accurate in Battlefield 3. All this time I thought I just couldn't get my sensitivity right. Every time I tried it, it always felt like I was playing on a sensitivity I didn't like. And it turns out they had hard-coded mouse acceleration built into the game that you couldn't turn off via the menu. You had to go into that fucking file, and I never really knew about that. So Theo and I messed around with that, and we ended up... it's either the world's biggest sugar pill and we think something's changed, or it actually did improve our experiences with Battlefield 3. Though I guess it's a touchy subject for my channel, given my past history with that franchise. You guys know I love Bad Company 2. I will forever sing the praises of how good that game was, despite its flaws. But I didn't quite like Battlefield 3. Wow, I could probably do an entire podcast length for going back into why that was, and the mindset of my own mindset versus the average player in Battlefield 3's mindset, and there's just a lot of stuff. But I can say, with complete honesty, I did go back to it lately in the last 8 months or so. I don't know how many months. But there was this huge sale on Premium where I was able to pick it up for like $12, $13, and I picked it up. because you guys, if any of you remember, I always wanted air superiority in Battlefield 3. I'm not a good pilot, but I enjoy piloting, if that makes sense. So having a chance to go be a pilot without feeling as though I'm ruining some other people's objective gameplay because I'm dicking around in a plane or whatever. It was definitely enjoyable for me. So I really did like that. And it turned out I fucking loved close quarters. I wish I would have listened to Colin, and I think it was Jimmy the Snake, that told me when Close Quarters came out that when that released, I probably would have loved it. I like the map sizes. I like the game modes that they introduced. I even like the weapons they introduced. I like the lack of vehicles. Turns out I'm a huge infantry player, but I think we all mostly knew that. I like infantry gameplay. I like mattering. I like knowing that just because I'm not in a vehicle doesn't make me a second or third class citizen in the player base of the game. So it felt good. I really like conquest domination. That feels really good to me to run around with Battlefield mechanics, but using that game mode, that fast-paced style. This is going to sound so fucking bizarre to the average Battlefield player, but my favorite way to play Battlefield 3 is a 16-man server, 8 versus 8, conquest domination maps on close quarters. I know that's like, oh my god, that's not why you play Battlefield, you fucking noob. But hey, I enjoy it. I run around with my little MP5 variant or whatever they want to call it. It's an MP5. You can rename it whatever you want because you can't afford the licensing, but it's an MP5. We all know that, okay? Run around like that, like crazy, trying to PTFO, cap some flags, cap some bitches, and have a good time. I did go back. I haven't sunk a ton of hours into it, but it is tolerable for me now. I'm trying to keep an objective mindset when it comes to Battlefield 4. I'm trying to look past the people that will write it off as like, well, it looks just like Battlefield 3. I mean, it should be an expansion. It looks just like Battlefield 3. And it's just like, look, dude, we're way past the age of a game just getting expansions and expansions over and over again. It's just not going to happen. The numbers have been crunched. It's probably not as profitable, you know. So I think we just need to accept it, no matter how gripey we want to be about it. But I'm trying to be objective for Battlefield 4. It is doing quite a bit of things that I like. It's making a few changes that I find appealing to me. It seems to have learned from what I interpret as being mistakes from Battlefield 3 and are looking to improve them. I still hate that goddamn sun. Holy shit, I don't know why they keep forcing that on players. I don't... The intensity of the sun should not be a fucking issue that you notice in a first-person shooter. I'm sorry. They can pretend it's realistic all they want, but it just annoys me. It really does. And do they gotta put a blue tint on everything? Really? I mean, there's such a beautiful engine, and they put a blue tint on shit. You know? I mean, I don't understand it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it does something else that I'm not aware of. I don't know. But I'm getting off topic. I don't really have a topic, but I feel like I'm getting off of it. Like I said, I like some of the things Battlefield 4 is doing. I could discuss them all, but I'd want to prepare and actually get all the notes of what I like instead of just trying to pull them out of my brain and missing stuff. But it does seem like a step forward. I think it's easy for somebody to say, oh, it looks just like Battlefield 3, and I don't want to be that guy. But I do have access to the demo that comes out in October. I know. It's a beta. No. You guys, if a quote-unquote beta happens 2 weeks before a launch, that's a demo. I'm sorry, but it's a demo. The beta is going on now. It's completely closed off. There is no open things going on. The people that have access to it, awesome. The people that don't, bummer. But I'll try to keep an open mind, you know. Maybe I'll come back to making Battlefield videos and keep irking the Battlefield community even more. I don't know. We'll see. Another game I have my eye on is a game from Blizzard called Hearthstone. It is a quote-unquote free-to-play. I use that term very lightly. Free-to-play card game online. It's hard to explain. It's like a more accessible Magic the Gathering with some interesting stuff going on. So hopefully it'll be cool. The streams have looked pretty good. It is currently in closed beta, but it is able to be streamed and whatnot. So with any luck, I'll be able to get into the beta of that. Maybe post it, maybe stream it. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's been interesting to me in gaming news lately. For other gaming stuff, consoles. Let's touch on consoles for a little bit. We got the PS4 and the Xbox One. Personally, I think they both have their strengths. I kind of like some of the stuff that the Xbox One's doing. I kind of like a lot of the things that they're doing. I like some of the stuff Sony has done. Ideally, I don't know. If I were to go the console route again, I think it would be safe to say that within a year apart, I would probably own both consoles for the first time of any generation for me. I've never really owned more than one. Athena and I did share a PS3 late into its life cycle, and I got to play some of the exclusives I was missing out on, and I really enjoyed those. So, but yeah, like none of the games that they've showed that interest me are even coming out this year. They're just not. Most of them are all 2014 releases, so I went ahead and I bought myself a nice $400 MSI 770 GTX graphics card. Popped her in, finally replaced my 570 that I got the year Battlefield 3 release, so I upgraded there instead, not going the console route at least for 2013. Maybe we'll revisit it when Bungie's game releases or something. We'll check it out then. You know, it's hard to say. It's too early for me. Like nothing super is like I have to play this game no matter what. At least not immediately. Rise does seem cool, but it's not a console seller for me just yet. So yeah. So if anyone's still listening right now, we're on like minute 27. You have my eternal respect and gratitude. I can't believe you would actually listen through all this. If you think I should stream, let me know. I like the idea of streaming, but it just doesn't seem like many people give a fuck that I stream, you know? But I guess, but I mean, by the same token, like, I'm just being a spoiled little fuck, because when I started making YouTube videos, no one gave a fuck that I was making YouTube videos either. And now, primarily, more or less, I've gone back to the point where nobody really gives a fuck, so it would just be all about whether or not I want to be devoted enough to start putting the time in to rebuild myself or rebrand myself and start going again. And I'm kind of leaning towards yes, you know, I kind of am. If you want me to make videos again, maybe, I don't know, that'll be my decision. Like, I don't think there's a ton of things that'll influence it, but I've always had a lot of ideas bouncing around in my head for things to do for gaming related videos and YouTube stuff before, and I just never really followed through. I was an idea person, but very little organization and commitment to following through with things. Like the D Crew, for example, we've been tossing around an idea for a podcast for about 3 years now. And most people think it's a good idea, but we never actually commit to it and do the goddamn thing. So maybe we'll call this a mini podcast here. I don't know at this point, but that might be something that could pop up. If you have any interest in following me with what I do, you can check out my Twitter. It is @swordsman75. I can leave a link if you want, but people should know how to do Twitter by now, I think. It's just @swordsman75. I'm fairly accurate. I'm pretty sure I damn near reply to almost anyone that actually sends me something that has a response to, like just sending me like a statement is like doesn't really do anything. But like if you send me a question or link me something and want my response or whatnot, I typically reply to almost everyone. For streaming, I am on Twitch TV /Swordsman75. Surprise, surprise. YouTube's the only thing with an X because some guy from England had Swordsman75 when I tried to make my account, which I thought was weird, but who knew? Somebody that likes swordsmen and is partial to the number 75. I would not have saw that coming, but there it was. It was there. Someone else had it. So I think this is going to close it out. Nice 30-minute commentary. Haven't done this for a while. My condolences and apologies if it sounded a little rough. I had a cold a week ago. Every now and then at night, it just seems to like trickle back just a little bit with a little bit of nasal congestion. I'm sorry about that. I tried to keep it to a minimum whenever I could for this commentary. So I don't know. I've been wanting to talk for a while. I haven't had an outlet to do so, to share my opinions and my views lately. Been feeling kind of lonely, and I just figured, fuck it, let's turn to my YouTube channel. I might have about 500 people that'll watch this, so thank you guys if you happen to have made it this far. Much love to you all. Hope you guys had a good holiday weekend for those of you that celebrated Labor Day. If not, bummer about the Monday. See you guys.